Hey guys, Thogden here and welcome back. Today we have Mr. Rory Jennings. Haaland, what happened, mate?
Oh, mate, how can you do that to me? I've only been here for 10 seconds. You start there.
Because the last time you and me were on a camera together, it has 10 million views and it's a meme worldwide. And we're back together for Prem predictions.
Got it wrong. Do you know what I've decided happened there? I think I've worked out why I got it so wrong. Because I'm a Chelsea fan and I've been so cruelly burnt by so many centre forwards, whether it's Chris Sutton when I was a kid, or Matthias Kesman when I was a youngster, or more recently Timo Werner. I think I've just been sort of conditioned to believe that centre forwards won't necessarily hit the ground running, but I was wrong.
Because our duo is back, how many likes should we get? We usually get about 10,000 likes, but because it's Mr. Rory...
10,000? I was going to say 2,000.
Let's go for 15,000 likes. Why not? It's Chelsea Rory, he's back on.
Wow.
And if we get it,
Won't get that.
I think we should do a Saturday social Sky Sports together once again.
I'm up for that.
And probably I'll become the meme, the one
I do
that
hope so. I do hope so. Maybe you'll become the meme on the video that you just shot.
Good point. Sports Direct, big up. We've got Thogdad out in Montenegro. He's sending his guest predictions in, and we've got a special guest off camera. We'll get to it on a certain match.
And last week the scores were Thogdad 2 points, Thogden 4 points, and Cal the Dragon 9 points. 2 points. That is my worst week ever. This week I've brought in Thogbear to help me out.
We're going to the Midlands, East Midlands, Leicester versus Manchester City.
I mean, it's very difficult when Manchester City are playing anyone. It's very difficult to see anything other than a Man City victory. But Leicester have found a bit of form.
They have.
They found a bit of form, and look, I'm not a huge fan of Brendan Rodgers. I don't rate him particularly highly, but I do think that he's done something quite impressive to stop the rot there.
To not get sacked, first of all, and turn around a club which looked done and dusted.
No,
20th the league, and then go and batter Wolves 4-0 away. But at the same time, I've been at Man City games recently, Copenhagen and Dortmund, where they've scored 0 goals in 180 minutes. Liverpool didn't score. So are we seeing the slow fall of Manchester City, or is there a little bit of less motivation because they've already qualified for the Champions League and they had a red card in Denmark?
Don't think that we're seeing the demise of Man City. I think they've had a couple of fairly uninspiring results, but that's going to happen over the course of the season. Ultimately, they're still in pole position to win the league, and I think they're going to make light work of Leicester. I think they win the game 3-0.
I agree. And I'll go different actually. Leicester 1, Man City 3. I'll give them a goal, as they have started to turn form.
Man City smashed Brighton, 2 more for Haaland. He's got 17 this season, but City's away form is not brilliant. This could be a close one. I'm going Leicester City 1, Man City 2.
Let's move to the 3 PMs. First match down on the south coast. Newly promoted Bournemouth with a new manager, and they're not doing too bad against a club which have slightly fallen away, but are still right up there in the Premier League table, Tottenham Hotspur.
You're not going to believe this, but I honestly can see a world where Gary O'Neill is going to get one over on Antonio Conte.
No.
I genuinely think there's a possibility here. I am going to go for a Bournemouth 1-0 victory.
No.
Genuinely. I
You
think
see?
there is a world in which this can happen. Obviously, I appreciate that it's less likely than likely, but Tottenham have looked all over the place, and I think the damage that can be done to the morale off the back of what happened to them midweek.
Do you know what? I fancy a Philip Billing masterclass. Watching Bournemouth in the last few games, he is shining. He holds off that midfield well, drives with the ball, he brings Solanke into the game. And Gary O'Neill played at Bolton a few years ago. He was a positive man, what was inside a club that was falling away financially. And he always gave a great vibe in the dressing room. And I think he brings that greatly to the Bournemouth team. Therefore, I'm still going to say 2-1 Tottenham.
2 teams trying to bounce back after defeats. Now Bournemouth offered nothing against West Ham United, and likewise with Spurs. I thought they were very poor at home to Newcastle, very error prone. They didn't play their normal game. I think this could be a low scoring tight game, but I think Tottenham at Hotspur will just win it 1-0.
Over to West London, and I'm actually in West London for Sky Studios the day after this video comes out for Saturday Social.
You doing it this week?
Yeah, stay tuned for it. Round the corner from the Bees home stadium, the community ground, the G-Tech, Brentford versus Wolves. Wolves are a weird one. They looked alright, they got a big result at home to Forest, but to lose at home to Leicester, 4-0.
It's bad. It's unacceptable, and they are all over the place. Like, in terms of their creation of chances, there's just nothing there. They struggle to score goals. I can see a world where Thomas Frank could become the next Wolves manager.
What? That's a good call.
I
clip this, because that might happen. Thomas Frank, do you think he would leave Brentford?
I think there's a ceiling with Brentford. I think Frank has done an amazing job, but there is a ceiling with Brentford. Think about what Wolves potentially could do.
Yeah.
If they get it right with Fosun and the link from Mendes and all that. I just think that it might be something that they considered. You know, they didn't get Lopetegui.
Yeah.
I think that they might be looking at Thomas Frank thinking that he could be the man for them.
Do you know what? Uninspiring. I'm going for a 0-0. I'm going for a 0-0 draw. I don't think Tony will score. I think Wolves need a point. They'll grind it out in West London. What are you going for?
I think Brentford win. I think Wolves are in turmoil.
Okay.
I like Wolves as well. I rate a lot of the players there, but overall I think they lose this game 2-0.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because if you look at the statistics from the Wolves game, they actually got 21 goal attempts to Leicester's 4, and they lost 4-0.
Wolves, for so long we've thought of them as a team who should push for Europe and be by rights in the top half of the table, and suddenly they are in the relegation zone. I can only see a home win here. Brentford 2, Wolves 0.
Brighton versus Chelsea, the Graham Potter derby, Cucurella as well. It's great. I've got a Chelsea fan here for it. This is an interesting matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting. I mean, look, you mentioned the link, but obviously it's deeper than that.
Yeah.
You've got Gilmore. You know, there's so much going on with the sides,
And the fact that Brighton always seem to turn up against top 6 clubs, you know, historically against Tottenham, and I think against Chelsea they'll be up for it after stealing so much of what their club had.
Yeah, I'm concerned about this fixture. I think Chelsea are going to win.
Okay.
I think it's going to be really tight. I think it's going to be a really difficult game. Between Christmas and New Year, Danny Welbeck scored a last-minute equaliser for them.
He should go to the World Cup.
And he's a good player, Welbeck. I don't know why that gets so much hate. He's such a good player. Overall, I think we're going to do it. But It's going to be tight. I'm going to go 2-1 to Chelsea.
Interesting. You've
What
gone
about you?
for who's scoring the winner?
Do you know what? I'm going to go left field here. I'm going to go for Conor Gallagher.
Ooh.
Partly because I love him, and partly because I think he's got a very acute eye for a goal and he needs to deliver more on that front to Chelsea. But also, played for Palace last year, didn't he? So I think he's going to be extra up for that. And for him to score the winner for Chelsea down in Brighton may mean that little bit more to it.
This is exactly what's going to happen. This will be a Thogden common W. Chelsea will be 2-1 up, and Brighton will score a last-minute equaliser thanks to Leandro Trossard. 2-2 draw. Potter will be fuming.
2 points in 5 games. Chelsea, meanwhile, brilliant under Graham Potter. They lost a couple of points to Man United, but I think they might sneak this one. I think it'll be a good one. Brighton 1, Chelsea 2.
Over to Selhurst Park, you mentioned Conor Gallagher. They're at home to Southampton. Which way do you fancy this game going? I think Palace have been all right. Very disappointing last out.
This is the most important game of the weekend.
You think so?
Hassan Hutel needs something.
Yeah.
Hassan Hutel must get something out of this game.
This could be the final straw. If you lose
Yes.
to a team around the standard that you were predicted to be around at the start of the season, I think Crystal Palace will run away with it as well. They've got good home form, Guehi, Mitchell, tight defence. I can't see Southampton causing too many problems on that side, and I imagine Eze and Elise drop a masterclass 2-0. What are you going for?
I think this is going to be a draw, you know. I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1 draw.
Crystal Palace need to bounce back after that humiliation against Everton, but they're playing a Southampton team who got a great draw against Arsenal, unbeaten in 3 games, bit of a mini revival. I think this could be a 1-1 draw.
Over to the northeast for Newcastle against Aston Villa. Unai Emery appointed. It's his first game. It's not going to be an easy one, especially on the Geordie's recent form. Rory, what do you fancy?
I think it's so tough. Newcastle have been brilliant, haven't they? It's so
Yeah.
annoying. You know, I've actually put a video on my channel recently
Yeah.
where I basically said why I can't stand Newcastle. Because they're so good. I mean, and Eddie Howe's getting it so right.
Just depth. Plays like Dan Burn, smashing it.
totally,
That.
totally. Nick Pope. They're actually in the conversation for Champions League qualification.
That's a big statement. How they've turned Almiron and Jacob Murphy into regulars, and they're still picking up results.
Do you know what? Jack Grealish has created a monster. Jack Grealish is responsible for this. I saw an amazing stat. You know, Almiron scored more goals this month than Jack Grealish has scored in his entire Man City career.
Are you predicting a Villa win on Unai Emery's first match? What do you think about Unai Emery? He made it to a Champions League semi-final last year, and people forget that.
Think of his European record. Do you know what? I think he's a really good manager. And Arsenal, for some reason, have skewed the way that we view him. But he did well at Arsenal.
He did.
He had Arsenal in a European final.
I know.
He had Arsenal in a European final when they finished 5th in the league. Very difficult one to predict this. I'm finding this difficult. I'm going to go with a Newcastle victory. I'm going to go Newcastle to win the game 2-1, but I'm not confident at all here.
I'm going to say 2-1 as well. I'm going to agree with you for the first time. Villa, let's give them some credit. Before Unai even came in with the assistant manager, to score 3 goals within the space of, 15 minutes against Brentford? Won 4-0 in the first half, battered them.
Well, anyone who was of the opinion that Gerrard shouldn't have been sacked, that theory lasted 2 minutes.
They sack Steven Gerrard. They go 3-0 up in 14 minutes against Brentford. That was superb. But these lads don't travel very well. I think this is going to be a home win, 2-0 to Newcastle.
Fulham versus Everton. Now, Everton have Lampard, and they are doing well.
Oh, super Frank. Nobody wants to talk to me about Frank Lampard as a manager anymore. Last year, when
You got this right. You got this right. And everyone gave you hate.
It's rare.
Oh my God.
No, I think he's done a really good job there. When you think about where Everton were when he took over, when you think about where they were in the summer, we can say that if Everton stay up this season, success equals survival, right?
Yeah.
If they survive, it's successful.
It's mad that this is the team of the overperformance. Fulham doing way better. You put them to get relegated.
I know. I think they're doing really well.
Andreas Pereira, the way he's fitting in a 10.
But there is a man far more articulate, far more handsome, and far more in the know when it comes to Fulham. I feel like an imposter.
Just get out, Rory. Just get out. You can't be here. If you guys know him, he has so many brains. He knows so much about football, and your club is Fulham.
Yes,
People
yes,
wouldn't
yes.
know that because you're probably talking about Midtjylland usually.
Yeah, a little bit. But it's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's been good for Fulham. I think this is a massive game because I think if Fulham get over the 20-point mark by the time that the World Cup comes around,
It's incredible.
we'll stay up. Palhinha's the one though.
Oh.
Palhinha's the player.
System.
There is absolutely no way that Joao Palhinha should be playing for Fulham. He is sensational. He was sensational for Sporting last year and during their run back up to the top of Portuguese football. Harrison Reed playing really, really well off him.
They understand each other
There's starting to be some calls that Harrison Reed might yet get a look in, not for this World Cup, on the international
England
stage.
team.
So
I like that.
we'll see if that comes to fruition. But currently, I think one of the best centre midfielders on form that the Premier League has seen.
Probably the second best player in the Premier League right now after Haaland. The way he has run the midfield is incredible. I mean, his improvements is outstanding, but it's the whole team.
I'm going to go with a 2-1 Fulham win. We've been really, really good at home. We've only lost once with 10 men to Newcastle. Obviously, got some big results in there.
Yeah.
Everton have been worse on the road. They've been very, very good at Goodison, and they are improving. And Calvert-Lewin back is obviously a massive, massive plus for them.
I'm going to go 2-2. I think the Toffees will find a way, but Fulham are clear favourites.
Everton, meanwhile, Dominic Calvert-Lewin is back. I think this could be a really good close game, but I'm going with home advantage. Fulham 2, Everton 1.
Time for arguably one of the biggest matches and most important, Anfield for Liverpool against Leeds. And if Liverpool go on to batter this game, we could be seeing the end of Jesse Marsch. What do you feel?
Yeah, I think Jesse Marsch has to go. You know, I've never really been into him. I never thought it was a good fit. You know, when the away fans are singing Marcelo Bielsa's name,
Yeah, that's bad.
it's the beginning of the end, isn't it? Like, there is no comeback from that.
And Leeds could go down if they leave it too late. Radrizzani, you may have to act quick, and it could be after this Liverpool game. I'm going 3-0, Darwin Núñez brace. Remember I said that.
I'm going bigger. I'm going to go that Liverpool will make a bit of a statement here. Liverpool are going to win the game 5-0.
Beware of an angry Liverpool because they are a different prospect at home. Leeds United, sadly the experiment with Jesse Marsch has gone wrong. You simply cannot lose at home to Fulham. The fans have lost faith in the manager. He will be gone in the next few weeks, and I think this could be a cricket score, but I'm going to go Liverpool 3, Leeds 0.
Arsenal against Forest. Now, weirdly, if we're going off recent form, Arsenal just lost to PSV, and Forest just beat Liverpool.
It's very weird because I've been so full of praise for Mikel Arteta. He's blown my mind. He has been outrageously good.
Yeah.
But I was surprised at the strength of team that he put out, PSV. And maybe just the cumulative effects of playing so much football could have a detrimental impact. I think Arsenal have been outrageously good, and I think that they're going to win this game, and I think they're going to win this game easily.
Forest have found a way to play against top 6 clubs. They've grinded out 3 points against Liverpool, and I fully believe they could play the same way against Arsenal and potentially sneak a 0-0 or 1-1. Rory, I know you always love Arsenal. You always put them on a pedestal.
Couldn't be further from the truth.
No, every video, you've done about 5 videos, Arsenal can win the Premier League.
They can, and they're brilliant.
I like Southampton. Have you seen their recent
But
footage?
Southampton, I think they've won at St Mary's about 3 times since 2004. Like, they
I-
haven't got a good record at Southampton. It's a weird anomaly. Every club has a bogey team, and they had theirs and they got a point. I don't think that's particularly outrageous. They're the only other team that can win the league.
I'll come clean. I've gone Arsenal 2-0, but it wouldn't
After all
surprise
that,
me.
Coward.
I know. I am.
You can't get the luxury of the praise from the draw and then not predict it. You can't do that.
What you go for then?
I
You're avoiding it.
think Arsenal will win the game fairly easily. I think they'll have a goal in each half and it will finish 2-0 to Arsenal.
Nottingham Forest, as we mentioned, they beat Liverpool. That's incredible. 2 more wins and they're actually mid-table, but Arsenal have a 100% home record. I reckon this is going to be easy. 3-0 to Arsenal.
Let's head to Old Trafford for the final match of the weekend. Sunday afternoon, Manchester United against West Ham. David Moyes,
He's back.
the king of Old Trafford.
He'll be desperate to get a result here, won't he?
Skamaka as well, starting to shine at striker. Jared Bowen, bringing his form back, apart from that penalty. I think it's underrated if the Red Devils get 3 points here, because that is a massive result against West Ham.
But I think this has probably got a draw written all over it.
Ooh, what are you going for?
I'm going to go for 1-1.
Wow.
What do you think?
That's a big step. I'm going 2-1 Man United. It's the favourite. I see a winner from Anthony. What do you think about Anthony doing the scuffy turn thing?
I love it.
You love it?
Yeah,
I thought you'd be the kind of guy to be like, should we rubbish, get out.
I love stuff like that. Do you know, I find it so funny that people get irate about Richarlison doing a few kick-ups or Anthony doing a pirouette. Like,
but it's the fact that he did it and then the ball went out of play.
Imagine if these people that get annoyed about that had seen Ronaldinho play football.
Do you
know what I mean? I love the entertainment.
Everybody that's always like, oh, there's not enough character in the game anymore, are the same people saying, Anthony, disgrace, he did a scoop turn.
Do you know what the problem with it is? When you do it, you've got to get it right.
West Ham also coming good. They beat a toothless Bournemouth very, very comfortably. I think this game will be close, but I'm giving it to Man United 1-0.
That is all 10 games complete. We're going up to the World Cup soon, so these Premier League clubs need to pick up points. Can we hit 15,000 likes for it? What would you do if we hit it?
I will do the Ravanelli celebration, which nobody wants to see, but that is exactly what I'll do. I'll do the Ravanelli around my front room and send you a video.
We've got to get back to the Sports Direct shoot, hence the Switzerland shirt and the France kit.
Look at
him, cut it out, go.